watching the All-State Saturday Kickoff.
10 days ago, Massimo Viscardi booted Coastal Carolina into the record books, knocking off number 21 Louisiana, their first ranked win in school history.
Fight till the end! Fight till the end! CCU! We defend our school! We defend our school! With all our might! With all our might! Come forward! Come forward! Fight, fight, fight!
What a feeling it was. Welcome to the All-State Saturday Kickoff. All eyes here on Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina, as Coastal Carolina ranked for the very first time in program history, but Georgia Southern might have something to say about that. Courtney Lyle, 6 feet away from UMass Hall of Famer Rini Ingoglia, and man, it's been an exciting week, but we do have some bad news for Coastal Carolina fans. We will not see Grayson McCall today.
Yeah, sore shoulder, just kind of beat up. They tried to throw him today at 10:30, still sore, so he's going to be out. But luckily, Courtney, for Coastal Carolina, I think Fred Payton's going to get the start. Bryce Carpenter also has experience. Both these guys starts under the belt from last year, so I think they're going to be okay. Yeah,
what a luxury to have that kind of experience as your backup. Meanwhile, for Georgia Southern in this triple option offense, we know rushing yards are going to be key. They are 4th in the nation in that category.
And it all goes through Shai Werts, their dynamic quarterback. It's that triple option attack. We're going to see it. But, you know, watching Georgia Southern, the thing that I like, they're starting to throw the ball a little bit more. That keeps defenses on their heels. Something to watch for today.
So Georgia Southern will start with the football here. A beautiful day here in Conway, South Carolina, just minutes away from Myrtle Beach. Georgia Southern trying to upset the only undefeated team in the Sun Belt. Fair catch is called for. And so we'll get to see Georgia Southern trot out there for the very first time to start things off. And it all starts with this quarterback, number 1 in that white jersey, Shai Werts, who has a ton of experience.
And he's the true leader of this team. I mean, as the offense goes, as Shai Werts goes, the offense goes. But I just love what he does as a team leader. And he's just so dynamic. And his mesh points with the running back, he runs the triple option to perfection.
He'll stack 3 guys behind him. It's J.D. King, Bo Johnson, the tight end, in the middle, and behind him is Wesley Kennedy III. Johnson moves out. They stick it in the gut of J.D. King, picks up a couple of yards, takes it to about the 27.
It's a little full house backfield there. Give it to the big back, J.D. King. He's more their downhill pounder type, 5'11", 220.
This Georgia Southern team has a ton of weapons in their backfield. And you can't count out Shai Werts with his legs, too.
I love the 1-2 punch between J.D. King and Wesley Kennedy.
It's J.D. King is the back this time. And there's going to be a little movement there for Georgia Southern. Trennis Livingston is our referee today. Calling on number 61, Drew Wilson, their right tackle.
Yeah, and those are those unforced penalties, Courtney. You just don't want to do, especially a running team. You want to stay ahead of the chains. Well, you pick up a 5-yard penalty on 2nd and long, moves it back. Not the position you want to be in.
Werts has King to his right, 2 receivers at the top of your screen. He pulls it out and he's going to throw, and the receiver he was looking for was Malik Murray. He was taken down. And that's flags coming in, pass interference, I'm assuming.
Yeah, good call by the officials. He's trying to run a little skinny post there, good protection. Werts took a hit, but stood in the pocket, delivered the ball, and they're going to get the pass interference call. It'll be a spot foul and an automatic first down. That's 43, Enoch McConzo.
Pass interference, number 41. This would be a spot foul, an automatic first down.
Yeah, you're going to see in the slot, the receiver's just going to turn up and get grabbed. He tackled. So easy call for the officials.
You know, this Georgia Southern team should be coming in with a lot of confidence. I don't want to rub it in.
Here we go.
I don't want to rub it in, Rini, but they did shut out UMass last week, 41-0.
And they threw the ball a lot. I mean, Shai Werts was 12 of 17, so they've been working on delivering the ball downfield more and more.
Wirtz this time gives it up to Logan Wright, who shoots up the middle.
You know, and talking to offensive coordinator Bob DeBest from Georgia Southern about his offense attack, he said they want to throw the ball, but when they want to throw it, they want to dictate. You don't want to be 3rd and long and be predictable. You want to be able to throw, you know, that 2nd and long pass. Great call. Get the pass interference call.
Yeah, and they were targeting Malik Murray on that play,
Yeah.
number 16 in the white jersey, and he has actually become their leading receiver this year. He has a team-high 7 catches.
And you know what I like about him? He's not flashy. He's a hard-nosed kid. He just goes out there, plays, makes catches.
Shai Wirtz on the option look, pitches it out to Wesley Kennedy III. Gets past the 35 to about the 37-yard line. 3rd down coming up.
That's a good job by the Coastal defense, very aggressive. And so when you go against a triple option team and they go option on it, you just want to string it out. You want them going lateral. You don't want those backs to be able to square their shoulders up and get upfield. They did a nice job right there. You saw Spillum, number 10, come inside out from that safety position, exactly how you want to play option.
And this isn't going to be something new for this Coastal Carolina defense because their offense
Very
has a
similar.
lot of
Yeah.
similar looks. They've seen this in practice. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Kennedy is the tailback, and here goes Shai Wirtz on the option look again. This time we'll keep it. Taken down at the 40, short of that 1st down.
Yeah, turned those shoulders up, thought he was going to get there. Nice job by the defense to come up and make the tackle. And I don't think it's a decision here for Chad Lunsford. You punt this thing away. And again, as I talked about, string it out. Wirtz tries to cut it up, but you have that good defense coming inside out to make the tackle to hold him short of getting the 1st down.
Anthony Beck III on to punt for Georgia Southern. Javon Hiley is back to receive for Coastal. Beautiful punt coming from Beck III. And Hiley will call for the fair catch. They'll start things up on their own 19-yard line. And here is where we get to see how Coastal looks with a different quarterback for the first time this season, as Fred Payton getting the nod today. Grayson McCall out with that shoulder injury.
And the ironic thing is Fred Payton hurt his Achilles in training camp. And it was really that injury that allowed Grayson McCall to kind of surface and win the starting job. And he's been exceptional. So now Fred Payton healed up. He's back in there. He's a good thrower. I don't think he runs as well as Grayson McCall, but he understands the offense. Again, experience. He's got starts under his belt.
CJ Marable is the tailback, number 1 in white, as they work out of the pistol here. They'll pull it and throw it out, looking for Javon Hiley, and the pass is incomplete. How many times, Rainey, have you seen a team where their 2 backup quarterbacks had 6 starts the year before?
Very rarely. You don't see it. So I think that's a luxury that Jamie Chadwell had, and I think that played into the decision of not playing Grayson McCall. Because listen, if this was a championship type game later in the season, I think Grayson McCall probably goes. They have the luxury with the experience to sit McCall and make sure he heals up correctly.
Payton will signal Marable to move. Option look for Coastal Carolina. It's CJ Marable carrying it. Gains maybe a yard on that. 3rd down coming up for the Chanticleers.
Yeah, nice job at Georgia Southern there again. Getting downhill. You know, both these defensive units, and I've seen them both in person this year, very aggressive defensive units that get downhill after ball carriers. So this is going to be a slugfest today.
Yeah, this Georgia Southern defense is 1st in the Sun Belt, 13th in the nation. They only give up about 19 points per game. 2 wide receivers on either side for Fred Payton. Looking to throw, looking out to Cameron Brown, number 11, standing on the sideline, and that should be a 1st down for Coastal.
And what I like about that out of Cameron Brown, he runs that out cut just past the 1st down marker, so he knows if he catches it, he's going to have the 1st down. And I love the zip from Fred Payton, showing you he can sling it as well. Good timing route on that out cut. Payton puts it on Cameron Brown.
Yeah,
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was a catch.
So they'll take a look at this to make sure that Cameron Brown got his foot in bounds.
Terry Walters, the replay official. Got to get to work early today.
But going back to your point about Fred Payton, I mean, he threw for over 1,400 yards last year. He's got an arm.
He sure does.
And these receivers are used to him. It's not like it's anything new. Let's show you another look here.
Remember, 1 foot in college football. Yeah, and to me, he had that foot down. I know what replay's looking at. That was the ball secured. You know, I don't see a bobble there, Courtney. Brings it into his body. Remember, the call on the field was a completed catch. There's nothing there that's going to reverse this call. This call is going to stand.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Catch.
So the first down will stay with the Chanticleers.
Beautiful day here in Conway, South Carolina.
Yeah, it's a perfect day for a noon kickoff on the surf turf, the teal
Teal
turf.
turf.
Shout out to Coastal for wearing the black jerseys and not the teal ones, so we can see.
Still tough to see numbers.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, so
You know, we talked
maybe
about,
I need the binoculars.
Rini, we talked about the good offense and good defense. Coastal is second in the Sun Belt in points per game, whereas Georgia Southern's defense first in points allowed per game.
So the proverbial something's got to give today.
Right. That's going to be the same story in time of possession because both of these teams are top 8 in the nation. Georgia Southern is first in the nation in time of possession.
And I almost think this year for Coastal, it's kind of like a revenge tour because a lot of these teams in the Sun Belt have gotten the better of them. Georgia Southern's 5-1 all time against Coastal. So, you know, kind of Coastal's ready, I think, in the Sun Belt to make a splash.
Fred Payton keeps it, gets back to the original line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. Here comes third down.
And as we said, Payton can run the ball. He's just not, he doesn't have the running ability that McCall does. And really, for that matter, I think Bryce Carpenter, number 12, who we may see today, has a little bit better running ability. But Fred Payton has that overall package, and that's why he's getting the start today.
Yeah, ironically, it was Bryce Carpenter last year who played every snap in this game against Georgia Southern because Fred Payton was out with an injury.
And this is a spot where you want to watch number 4, Isaiah Likely, their big tight end.
And Fred Payton's looking for him. He got caught up there in the defense. Payton going the other way, throwing on the move. What a play from Fred Payton to keep this thing going and pick up the first down for Coastal.
And that's where the experience of Fred Payton pays off, because you're right. He was trying to go to Likely running a corner route. He got knocked off his route. Payton reverses field, goes to his left, finds Sam Denmark, puts it on him. But looks like we're going to have a penalty that'll nullify it.
On the offense, number 72. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay, third down.
That's Antoine Loper, the left tackle, called for holding.
Yeah. The biggest guy on that offensive line, so he sticks out. So when he holds, you're going to see it. So that'll nullify a nice play from Fred Payton there.
Backs up Coastal to their own 25. 3rd and 15. CJ Marable moves over to Payton's left. Payton looking downfield, pass incomplete. Javon Hiley was sliding down as the pass went behind him.
Yeah, good coverage that time in the back end by Georgia Southern. Only rush 3. Good coverage. Payton nowhere to go, and it goes incomplete. So the feeling out process, first couple possessions for both these teams.
And both teams forced to punt on their opening drives. Charles Overson will handle those duties for Coastal as Wesley Kennedy III is back for Georgia Southern. Fair catch called for at the 37-yard line. No score just yet. Coastal Carolina trying to stay undefeated in 2020. No score just yet here in our Sun Belt East battle. between undefeated Coastal Carolina. Georgia Southern about to go on offense for the second time. A luxury to have the redshirt senior Shai Werts back there commanding this triple option offense. He's got a few rushing yards to his credit, over 2,000 yards in his career. That leads all active quarterbacks.
You know, and talking to the coaches about Shai Werts, they said, you know, this year he's better than he's ever looked. He's ready to go. He's more of a vocal leader, and he's just dynamic. And again, I said it earlier, I think the fact that they're going to trust him to throw the ball a little bit more downfield is really going to open up the offense. Again, their bread and butter is that option attack, and that's what they're going to hit you with. But the fact that they're able to throw it downfield a little bit will pay huge dividends.
Georgia Southern was forced to punt on its opening drive. Bo Johnson will step off, and they send Malik Murray in motion. The handoff is to J.D. King. Falls forward to the 41-yard line. Second down coming.
Yeah, Coastal doing a nice job up front. Just giving up a few yards on that straight dive to King. Some active linebackers for Coastal. Kelly and Gallagher, the Mullet brothers in there.
I was going to say, it's all because of the mullet, right?
I think it gives you superpowers. Or linebacker powers, at least.
Werts dropping back and looking to his right, trying to connect with Darion Anderson on the play, and that is dropped.
Yeah, and that's where you just got to help your quarterback out. He puts it on you, and Darion Anderson has to make that catch. Big cushion by the corner to Jordan Strong, and so if they're going to give you cushion like that, boy, take what they give you, make that catch. But, you know, instead of being first down or third and, you know, one, they were at the sticks. Now you're third and long, and that's just not where you want to be, because now the down and distance is dictating what you have to call here.
So they switch up the running back. It's Wesley Kennedy, the third, in there behind Werts in the pistol. Two wide receivers to either side. Kennedy makes a shift over to the left. And Werts pulls it. Big stop right there for Coastal's defense. Derek Bush on the outside, forcing him out of bounds.
And you talked about being familiar. This defense is familiar with this offense. They've seen it. Their offense is similar. This is an RPO. This is a run-pass option. He's either going to run it or he was going to pull it and pass it to the wide receiver, but the Coastal defense read it perfectly. They reacted, and they came up. Werts had nowhere to go. They string it out, and another punt.
This time a 3-and-out for Georgia Southern as Anthony Beck, the third, the weapon at punter that Chad Lunsford calls him. Javon Hiley is back to receive for Coastal. Hiley rushes up and is pulled down at about the 29-yard line.
Punter tried to get a little bit of a active job on that one. Hit the deck pretty hard, but no call.
So we got to see Fred Payton for one series. Early thoughts on him?
I think good so far. Had one drop, one incomplete, but scrambled, made a nice play. Again, I just think with him, it's, even though he's experienced, just kind of relax and let the game come to him. Take that deep breath. But I think he's going to be fine. And I think, again, that played into Jamie Chadwell's decision to sit Grayson McCall in this game.
CJ Marable gets the call, taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of 1 on that play. 2nd and 11 coming.
And Marable's a player I would think that they're going to go to a lot today. They like to get him between 15 to 20 touches. He had 20 last week, 17 carries, 3 receptions. I would like to see him get 20 to 25 touches today if I'm Coastal Carolina.
And he's a senior on this team, transferred in from Presbyterian College. His role has kind of changed over his time with Coastal. He's not just get outside and get around on the perimeter. He can go upfield now. Coming off a play action, Payton drops back. Nobody is on him. Wow! Sam Denmark go all the way, a 72-yard touchdown! The second 72-yard touchdown Coastal Carolina has had this season.
And Courtney, it all starts up front. Great protection by that offensive line. Fred Payton was able to drop back, sit in there, and boy, Sam Denmark, the speedster, gets lost in the slot. And just like that, a quick score for the Chanticleers.
Massimo Biscardi on to attempt the PAT, and it is good. What an electric spark for Coastal.
Media, timeout.
A 72-yard touchdown pass. Fred Payton connecting to Sam Denmark. Get it done.
Welcome back to Conway, South Carolina. Chanticleer just struck on a 71-yarder. Let's watch this here. Sam Denmark's just going to run a deep post. This corner here sits. He thinks the safety's going to come back. He doesn't. A little miscommunication in the back end there, and Sam Denmark is wide open. Good throw by Fred Payton, and a quick strike as the Chanticleers lead this one early.
Again, Fred Payton getting the start today as Grayson McCall, who we've seen all season, is not available with a shoulder injury, but what a backup to have.
And again, credit to that offensive line. On those deep routes, you need that time back there in the pocket. That offensive line gave him the time.
Wesley Kennedy III is going to take it out of the end zone for Georgia Southern. And he gets past the 20-yard line. They'll start inside the 25. You know, we talked to Bob DeBess, who is the offensive coordinator for Georgia Southern, and he said, our offense can't get rattled by this Coastal offense because they can be electric at times. We can't panic.
Yeah. And they're predicated on big strike plays, and we talked to them. They want 8 explosives a game. That's 12-yard runs or more, or 15-yard passes or more. That's what this offense lives on, so they need some explosives themselves.
They pitch it out to Wesley Kennedy. Can't get any room on the edge as the defense all over him, and finally Derek Bush for Coastal takes him down. Remember, coming up today at 2 Eastern, the perfect second screen experience. Get your computer ready to watch the big fight between Khabib and Gaethje coming up. First time we've seen Khabib since his father passed away. Should be an emotional day. He is undefeated at 28-0. 2 wide receivers on either side for Shai Werts. He'll look to throw it, and it's intercepted! Taken away by Coastal Carolina. Get the turnover cloak ready to Jordan Strong.
And that's the same play, Courtney. Ball was dropped by Darian Anderson. This time, the Jordan Strong does not give him a cushion. He jumps the route. He gets underneath the receiver and intercepts the ball. It's just great coverage. And that's what I love about defensive backs, giving the quarterback different looks. Last time out, gave him a big cushion. It was an easy throw for Shai Werts. This time, no cushion. He breaks on the ball, undercuts the receiver, and intercepts the pass. Excellent defense by Coastal.
There's the turnover cloak, the king of the South right now, to Jordan Strong, and that gives great field position to Fred Payton and the Chanticleer offense. Throwing over the middle, picked off. Right back at it, Rashad Bird leapt up in the air for Georgia Southern.
And a huge play because, you know, you have that change of possession. They were going for it. They were going to try to get it in the end zone, was Coastal. But Rashad Bird, all 6 foot 230 of him, right in the middle of the screen. He's going to time this perfectly, go up. Not only does he not knock it down, he intercepts the ball. So a huge play for that Georgia Southern defense.
Bird, a second-team All-Sun Belt selection. Last year had 2 interceptions. This would be his first of the season.
Just great athleticism to time it and catch it.
Shai Werts looking way downfield. Emil Smith just overthrew him.
And Smith had a few steps on the defensive back. It was a good route, just could not quite time it up. And that's one, boy, you wish you could have back, because that's one you want to complete there. You need to complete. You have sudden changes back and forth. Going for the deep ball, just cannot complete it.
2nd and 10 coming for Georgia Southern. J.D. King and Kennedy back there And they go on the option look. Look at Shai Werts. He's got room to run. Tripped up finally around the 40-yard line.
And those are the explosives that Georgia Southern's looking for. Good job by Werts. Rides out the option to the short side of the field, finds that seam, squares those shoulders up, and then you see how explosive he is when he gets upfield for the nice gain.
Alex Spillum was able to make the tackle. It's a 23-yard game, and there's a Coastal Carolina player down.
And it is Spillum. A little shaken up.
Yeah, it is Alex Spillum who just made that stop. Shai Werts had open field in front of him, if not. Spillum, a redshirt junior out of Minnesota. Already has an interception this year.
Yeah, I think that defensive play for Georgia Southern and now this explosive run right there by Shai Werts will kind of wake Georgia Southern up, get them going a little bit, because that was a huge defensive stop with Coastal with such good field position. Take a look at the run, and Spillum's going to make that tackle at the end. He came off the field in his own power, which is good. So, but yeah, you talk about a shoelace tackle, you just saw one right there. Yeah, because if Werts comes out the backside of that, he's gone.
1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. J.D. Kennedy up the middle. They'll mark him at the 43.
It's been tough sledding in there, not a lot of room, but when you're a triple option team, you have to hand it to the bigger back like that, because you have to keep those linebackers honest in there. You got to make sure they just don't fly out of there, because that's what will shut the option out. So you got to still give that dive play, keep those defenses honest in what they're doing.
And this Coastal team does have a lot of experience in that linebacker position. They've been able to get a couple of guys back from injuries. Last year, Silas Kelly is back. Enoch McConzo is back for Coastal. J.D. King again, look at it, powering his way up the middle of the field, marked down at the 49, just short of the first down.
Yeah, and so if you're Georgia Southern, if you're going to get the third down, this is where you want to be, third and short. Talking to the defensive coordinator for Coastal Carolina, Chad Staggs, he said, we have to keep them behind the chains. We can't let them get the third and short, because right here, to me, for Chad Lunsford, you got 2 downs to pick this up. He's going to go for it if they don't get it here. So you can kind of play with your play call here if you're Bob DeBess on 3rd and short.
Georgia Southern 0 for 2 on 3rd down today, usually converting at 54%. J.D. King again. Can he make his way forward? Oh, I think this is going to be short, about a yard short. Gerard Clark was there for Coastal. They mark him at the 50, a short of the first down.
And I'm wrong. I thought he'd go for it being at midfield. He's going to punt. That's a great place on the field, though, for a fake. So if you're Coastal, you leave your defense out there. You play what's called a punt safe. Leave that defense out there, and you're just watching for it.
Anthony Beck is the one back there, trying to see if they can get any movement from that Coastal defense. Beck runs up under center.
Yeah, they're trying to get him to jump off sides. And they're going to take a delay of game. Back judge, the clock was at 0 for about 3 seconds. The back judge didn't look at the play clock.
Delay of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, remain 4th down.
And good discipline by Coastal, because you just can't jump off sides there. Nice job. And as you said, that was Anthony Beck, the punter, that was in that pistol formation, like a quarterback, barking out the signals. And now they'll traditionally punt it away.
And Chad Staggs would be pretty proud of his guys out there.
I mean, and how many times in situations like that you just see guys get overeager and they do jump off sides.
So Beck now in a true punt formation as Javon Hiley back to field it for Coastal. Fair catch called for. Coastal Carolina had a 72-yard touchdown last time. What happens next?
Remember that National Vote Early Day is October 24th. For more information, visit IamAvoter.com.
Hey, the Big Ten is back. Tonight we have the oldest trophy game in college football. Number 21 Minnesota hosting number 18 Michigan for the Little Brown Jug. The 98th version, they first played for the Jug back in 1903. You can see it at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. Coastal back on offense. Ball comes loose. Chanticleer's able to fall on it. CJ Marable falls on it.
And that's where, not inexperience from Fred Payton, just a lack of reps working with the running back. And the ball kind of just slips out of his hand as he was going to hand it to Marable. Luckily, able to jump on it and still pick up 2 yards.
Hey, CJ Marable can bail Coastal Carolina out of a lot of things. He's super talented.
Does a lot of things. He does a lot of things really well.
That handoff much cleaner, but the Georgia Southern defense knew it was coming.
Chris Harris there from the Mike linebacker spot. Does a nice job. And right now, I mean, Georgia Southern just winning at the line of scrimmage, getting to that offensive line for Coastal, who's been exceptional. And a lot of talk this week about their height at the guard and center's position, and usually they get low and they drive you off on those run plays, but Georgia Southern is doing a nice job up front.
3rd and 12 for the Chanticleers. Payton in trouble, just eaten up. What a day Rashad Bird is having. An interception and a sack.
And one of the team captains, and that's only the 3rd sack that Coastal has given up this season. Good blitz, little X stun at the top. And Bird goes untouched to the quarterback, Fred Payton, for the sack. Big time play there by that defense. Good call by Scott Sloan, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Southern.
Charles Overson on to punt for Coastal. Wesley Kennedy III back for the Eagles. Overson with a monster punt, and it's bobbled by Kennedy. Still room to run forward. Takes it inside the 40-yard line in Coastal territory. Still going on that far sideline. Wesley Kennedy III, a punt return for a touchdown.
You know, I talked to you yesterday, Courtney, about Wesley Kennedy, and I told you I think he's the best overall football player on this team. He can do so many things, and that time a great punt by Coastal. And talk about out-kicking your coverage. His coverage was there, but Kennedy doesn't fair catch the ball, which is what you should do because they can't hit you anyway. He makes the catch, a little bit of a bobble, but splits defenders, and you see how athletic he is as he gets down that right sideline for the touchdown. Unbelievable return by Wesley Kennedy.
Alex Rayner on to attempt the PAT, and remember, Wesley Kennedy had the game-winning touchdown in that triple overtime game between these two teams last year.
So you might say to yourself, it's a high, deep punt. Why isn't he fair catching it? But the rule allows you to catch the ball without getting hit anyway. So a little bit of a bobble, but he's going to split 3-4 defenders from Coastal, and then just an exceptional athlete, great vision, great speed, and his ability to stop on a dime, and then he picks up some nice blocks down the right sideline. So a huge special teams play in this game by Wesley Kennedy. Just an exceptional job, and a good job for Georgia Southern not blocking anyone in the back, because a lot of times on punt returns like that where the returner's dodging and he's cutting back and forth, jumping inside and out, you inevitably get a block in the back. Good job to stay off the backs of Coastal Carolina, and a huge play for Georgia Southern.
Both coaching staffs talk to us about the importance of taking advantage of every single time you touch the football. That is huge in this game. We're two teams who like to dominate time of possession.
Yeah, whenever you can get a big special teams play like that, it is a bonus.
Alex Rayner to kick things off. How will Coastal respond? They let this one bounce. CJ Marable scoops it up. Tripped up around the 30-yard line. They'll mark it inside the 30. Well, let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Allstate. And it's exciting because we do finally get to see the Big Ten play some games. So there's going to be some records next to these names tomorrow.
Yeah, a couple of Big Ten teams back in there. It'll be interesting. Is anyone going to challenge Clemson this year? And Alabama looks like Alabama. So things are starting to feel normal, Courtney, especially with the Big Ten coming back. Of course, started last night, Wisconsin with the big win over Illinois. So I love the word normal. This gets back to normal, and we're getting there.
Ohio State, Nebraska. Who you got in that one?
Well, I got Ohio State, but I'm fascinated in that one to see how well Nebraska can play.
Quick pass for Fred Payton, and he goes to Greg Latushko, who is Mr. Third Down usually.
He was Mr. First Down right there because right on the marker. And Latushko's kind of like that possession type receiver. He's got good hands. He runs good routes. Gets right on the yard to gain. Payton puts it on him.
Look, he had no catches coming into the season, and that was his 6th catch this year.
Very dependable is what the coaches told us about Greg.
Reese White gets the call this time for Coastal. Right up the middle he goes past the 40-yard line. They'll mark it at the 41. Third down on the way.
And I think they'll take this to the second quarter. We'll talk about this.
Yeah, clock ticking down. It'll be 2nd and 7 on the other side. What a wild first quarter it has already been.
Yeah, a phenomenal game. We thought it would be. Back and forth we go. Huge touchdown to start for Fred Payton to Sam Denmark. And then the answer, Wesley Kennedy with a punt return. Come back for the second quarter. We're tied up at 7.
Tie game as we get set for the start of the second quarter. You see Grayson McCall over there on the sidelines for Coastal Carolina, unavailable today. Fred Payton has done a solid job.
He has it again. We talked about it. Experienced. He's got a lot of starts under his belt. I just think he needs to get the cobwebs off, being that this is his first start of this season.
Yeah, 6 starts last year, missed a couple of games due to injury. Georgia Southern was one of those games he missed. And Georgia Southern's defense says hello.
Yeah, and they're just relentless up front. I know CJ Wright, 94, had some pressure as well. See the middle linebacker, Chris Harris, once again, and really just rushing 4. And Raymond Johnson on the outside, big number 0. He has been a problem for them today. He was the one that forced that big holding call earlier in the game as well. So that defensive line of Georgia Southern getting after it today.
3rd and 9. 2 wide receivers stacked on either side for Fred Wright. The pocket collapsing on him. I thought he was going to try to throw it away there for a second. Look at Georgia Southern's defense. CJ Wright in the mix.
Yeah, and good job by Fred Payton. I was with you. Tuck that thing away, take the sack, live for another day, live for another down. Don't turn the ball over there. Let your special teams come in and punt this thing away. But again, the pocket just collapses on him, and you see big CJ Wright once again, a big 300-pounder right in the front, playing that nose guard position in. As Fred Payton steps up in the pocket, it just collapses on him. So a offensive line that hadn't given up a lot of sacks coming in this game, all of a sudden getting beat at the point of attack.
Now remember, this Georgia Southern defense only gives up 19 points per game. Fair catch called for this time by Wesley Kennedy. Eagles going on offense on the other side, tied up at 7.
The Allstate Saturday Kickoff is presented by Allstate. You've never been in better hands. And in part by Peloton. Millions of reasons, one community.
Tie ball game here in Conway, South Carolina. Courtney Lyle, Rini and Golia with you. A fun first quarter, and now here goes Georgia Southern again. Shai Wertz off of play action connects over the middle to Caleb Hood. Those are the first passing yards for Georgia Southern today.
Yeah, and I believe that was Spillum, the safety, to try to jump that route as well, but Wertz puts a little mustard on that one, gets it on the receiver, makes the catch. And a good play on first down. Again, throwing the ball when you want to.
Of course, Georgia Southern runs that triple option, so the ground game is going to be their bread and butter, but you got to watch out for Shai Wertz and his arm as well. First down starting at the 32-yard line. On the move is Wirtz.
Man, starting to get good movement now and staying ahead of the chains, and you can pick up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down in this offense. It's going to be a long day for the defense. This is just quarterback sweep to the left, little power. You see all the backs out in front. Wirtz sees that first hole, squares the shoulders, gets it up, and again, 5 or 6 yards on first down. It's a good sign for the offense.
2nd and 4 coming. Logan Wright is the running back. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Wirtz in trouble. He's got a defender in his face, and there's a flag down.
Boy, and I tell you, he had his tight end, Chase Hancock, 83, wide open on that play.
On the offense, number 72. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
I mean, that's how quick the rush got in there from Coastal. The tight end, I was watching the play develop, wide open from the beginning, and Shai Wirtz could not get it to him on the left side of the screen. He breaks open right there, and just a good job by Coastal. And Wirtz just trying to get away from the linebacker as he just heads backwards and takes the big loss, and that's Macanzo. And you talked about him being back this year from injury. Nice job there. Former free safety that's moved up, plays their spur linebacker position, kind of a hybrid between linebacker and safety.
3rd and long. Wirtz in trouble again. Pounded to the ground by Coastal's defense. Miles Olufemi right in his face.
And he plays the bandit position, which is the other outside linebacker. And I tell you, Georgia Southern looked great on defense. Coastal says, listen, we can get some pressure on the quarterback too. We'll come after you and get a couple sacks back to back. So a good answer by the Chanticleers defensively.
Anthony Beck back out on the field. Javon Hiley will field it for Coastal, and he calls for the fair catch. And the defender runs into him.
Yeah, and he slid into him. The receiver did go down, but not enough to get the call. That's a good no call by the officials.
We'll kick off your NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff.
So I got to watch because, you know, I haven't played fantasy football in I don't know how many years, and got coaxed back into it this year, so I got to get all those updates. I got to make moves, you know?
How much will they discuss Antonio Brown going to the Bucs?
Maybe once or twice, maybe.
That might come up.
Will he finally catch a pass from Tom Brady? We'll see.
It could happen this year. The journeyman. Fred Payton looking deep right over the middle, and he's got a wide open receiver. Guess who? Javon Hiley. A huge pickup from Fred Payton.
Yeah, and it looked like another blown coverage. And I tell you, if Fred Payton can put it on him a little quicker, you see Hiley had a stop for it. But the most important thing is to get that completion, get that big gain. But he puts it on him early. Hiley walks into the end zone.
54-yard pickup. Javon Hiley, the leading receiver for this Coastal Carolina crew. 1st and goal for the Chanticleers. CJ Marable goes and gets stuffed by Georgia Southern. That's Raynard Ellis.
And I think this is where Grayson McCall makes the biggest difference, because when you're down here in the red zone, 5-yard line, Grayson McCall gives you that run pass option where he can pull the ball out of the belly, keeps his head up, he can pass it, he can run it himself, and see how good they have been. I feel bad saying good. They have been great in the red zone, 18 for 18 and 17 times touchdowns. Phenomenal.
Yeah, those 17 touchdowns really leap off the page. 2nd and goal now. Payton rolling out to his right. Receiver all covered up. Yeah, that's going to be pass interference.
And that's just Hiley working really hard out there, coming back, causing that pass interference. And you love that when your receivers are working that hard for you.
Yeah, you could see Derek Canteen had a hold of the front of his jersey.
And it had good coverage initially. I mean, that rollout.
Defense, pass interference, number 13. The ball be placed at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal.
And I was going to say, Hiley was the only receiver out in this route as Peyton rolls out. And you see the grab there. It's an easy call by the back judge. He had a good angle on it. Derek Canteen grabs him with that left hand. Back judge looking right at it. It's an easy call. Now it's 1st and goal, 2.
Huge break for Coastal. Marable lines up behind Peyton. They give it to him. Tries to shoot up the middle. Lots of traffic.
And I think this is where Fred Peyton is going to have to do something with his feet. You're going to have to pull this out. A little run option down here. We'll see. And again, Jamie Chadwell, the head coach, we should say, is the offensive coordinator. He calls all the plays. So a little bit different without Grayson McCall in there for sure.
Fred Peyton did have 2 rushing touchdowns last year. Remember, he started 6 games for the Shots. Pulls it from Marable, throws over the top and connects to Cameron Brown in the back of the end zone.
And if you're not going to find your big 6'4" tight end down in the red zone, Cameron Brown, just as good. He's a big wide receiver. He's got basically a tight end body, 6'3", 220 pounds. Good job by Fred Peyton. Get it up high, let your big receiver go up, make that catch. Good play call.
How about 19 for 19 in the red zone with 18 touchdowns?
Pretty efficient, I would say.
Massimo Biscardi, the hero from last week, on to attempt. Gets the PAT to go through. 59-yard drive for the Chanticleers.
Now the defenses went back at it, but Coastal answers. Peyton to Brown. They lead it by 7 in Conway.
Coastal Carolina leads Georgia Southern 14-7. Last year when these two teams met, Jamie Chadwell said, quote, "It was a dang monsoon," and it certainly was a triple overtime affair between these two programs last year. First overtime here, Georgia Southern on 4th and 6 ties it at 17, and then Wirtz again would find the end zone. Georgia Southern leading 24-17. CJ Marable would answer with an 8-yard touchdown here. We are tied up at 24, going to overtime number 3. Wesley Kennedy III gets the winning score, his 2nd touchdown of the evening, and it was Georgia Southern coming out on top 30-27. But when we talked to Coach Chadwell, he said that gave them some confidence to come into this game today.
Yeah, that was a great college football game.
And there's Wesley Kennedy III. He's already had a punt return for a touchdown today. He was so big for Chad Lunford's crew last year.
And just getting back to Coastal for a second, we talked about it earlier. Georgia Southern's 5-1 against them all time. So, but as you talked about, Jamie Chadwell saying that gave them confidence, a game they felt they should have won. Lost a great game in overtime. It happens. Coach got a new hair, got a haircut. He told us this week. You know,
Ranked team, want
to look good.
Gotta make sure you're looking sharp for the media. He was
Shout out to his barber. He's looking good.
Yeah. Georgia Southern has won the last 2 meetings with Coastal. Down 7 here early, still early in this one. Shai Wirtz with a back on either side, and he will toss it out to Wesley Kennedy III, turning upfield. Some room to run on that sideline. I think he might be a couple yards short of the first down.
Yeah, but that's what Wesley Kennedy can do. His explosiveness, a little dump pass. Now there's a defender there. You think he's going to get tackled at the line of scrimmage, maybe a 1 or 2 yard gains, but he makes 2 guys miss, gets upfield, and on first down, that's when you hear me say stay ahead of the chains. That's what you do, 7-8 yards on first down, and when you have an explosive player like Wesley Kennedy, you get it to him in space and just let him be an athlete.
A 2019 honorable mention all Sun Belt selection out of Savannah, Georgia for this Georgia Southern crew. This time J.D. King is in the back, and he will get the call with the spin. It might be just enough, maybe a yard past that first down marker to move those chains.
You know, talking to the coaches about J.D. King, he's got that C, that captain's patch, said he's the hardest worker on the team. You know, when he transferred in, he fits in with everyone right away, and he's very competitive, and he's vocal, and he challenges people. And they talk about in practice, they're like, okay, this is a game rep, let's go hard. And those are the kind of leaders you want on your team, and J.D. King is that.
And not only did he fit in within 48 hours.
Yeah.
That's what the coaching staff told us. I don't know of a player that's done that before. Wow. Wirtz with plenty of time over the middle, looking for his favorite target this year, Malik Murray, incomplete.
Well, boy, the defensive back, the safety, just mistimed his jump, and the ball goes over his head. And boy, if this could have been timed up with Murray, you have a big gain. And so just a play that could have been made on either side of the football there.
Option look for Shai Wirtz. He will keep it, the ball comes out. And J.D. King is there to grab it. Georgia Southern taking a sigh of relief. Thank goodness J.D. King was right there as the ball popped out.
There's no foul on the play. The beanbag was thrown and the flag fell out. 1st and 10.
Yeah, good explanation by the official, because you saw the flag fall. He meant to throw the beanbag to mark where the ball was fumbled. J.D. King, we talked about him, right? Captain, Johnny on the spot, picks up the fumble. And not only that, he gets downfield and picks up a first down.
Came in from Oklahoma State, was their leading rusher his freshman season. First and 10 from the 50 for Georgia Southern. King's got it. Nice pickup of about 6.
A big dose of J.D. King.
Remember, coming up at 2 Eastern today, you can catch the fight between Khabib and Gaethje. Get your second screen going. You got less than an hour to get things ready to go. See it pay-per-view on the ESPN app. Second and 3 coming for the Eagles. We're just going to change things up. Keeps it. And he is thrown down, and there is a penalty coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a horse collar.
Yeah, Jeffrey Gunter got a hold of the back of his pads.
Personal foul. Horse collar. Defense. 94. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Man, it's tough. It's tough for those big guys. You're just reaching out. You're trying to make a play. You're going to get a great look at it here. I mean, clearly a horse collar. You know, it's not intentional. He's just reaching out, trying to make it. And he does. He makes a great play. But you see how dangerous it is, because luckily the legs come out there, but that rule's put in there. So a lot of times the legs don't come out, and it could hurt a knee, hurt an ankle. So it's a good call by the official there.
Jeffrey Gunter played a couple of seasons at Coastal, actually transferred to NC State and sat out last year due to transfer rules, but decided he wanted to finish what he started. He's back at Coastal.
Yeah, and I love his size, 6'4", 260. He's athletic, he can run. Plays their bandit position, which is a hybrid defensive end linebacker.
The penalty enforced from the previous spot. 1st and 10.
So Georgia Southern will start on the Coastal 28.
And only a redshirt junior, Gunter. I just love his length and the fact that he plays that bandit position. So he looks traditionally like a defensive end, but he will get back into coverage.
It's quadruple eye look for Georgia Southern.
The old full house, we called that.
It's King, Johnson, and LaRoche. And this is J.D. King. Wow, just forced backwards as Coastal's defense swarmed.
Yeah, and I tell you, Georgia Southern is doing a big job. I mean, they're giving it to J.D. King a bunch up the middle, trying to get some movement up there. And again, to me, it just keeps those linebackers honest, coming up, protecting the dive, and then we know what Shai Werts can do when he pulls it out and gets to the outside on option.
J.D. King, 8 carries for 38 yards, averaging about 4.8 yards per carry today. This time Werts going to the air. Looking downfield for Wesley Kennedy, just overthrows him.
Yeah, and he was in coverage. Macanzo was in coverage, and that's a matchup you want. You want Wesley Kennedy on a linebacker or a safety, and he had him beat, but Werts just couldn't step up in the pocket. He needed to throw that probably a count earlier, and I think he would have had a better chance completing it. You just saw the feet in the pocket, just a little pitter-patter, and a good job by Macanzo to get on his horse and get back there.
All right, Georgia Southern is 0 for 4 on 3rd down today. They've got 3rd and 8 from the 26. Werts looking to his left, J.D. King, he connects with him, taken down at the 25, well short of that first down. Derek Bush was there.
And I've been impressed with Derek Bush today, number 23, the corner. He's made some really nice tackles. He's not afraid to come up, and you see him go low on the big running back, makes that tackle. And, you know, I have for my notes, the coaches told me for Derek Bush, he loves to compete, and he needs to play well. Both these corners need to, and they've done a nice job today. I love how they come up and run support.
This will be a 42-yard field goal for Alex Rayner. And it is no good. Huge stop for Coastal's defense.
Media.
The
Timeout.
Chanticleers leading 14-7 here in the second quarter. Big stop for Coastal's defense. They lead at 14-7. Other action happening around. Now time for the Fansville College Football Update. It's brought to you by Dr. Pepper. I'm kind of keeping an eye on that Kansas State game. Remember, both of those teams have losses to teams out of the Sun Belt.
Look at Nebraska, Ohio State.
Oh, yeah, also.
By the way,
sorry.
And that's almost half. That's crazy.
It's fun to have the Big Ten back this weekend.
You saw the hat come off from the line judge there. That signifies that the receiver ran out of bounds and cannot be the first one to come back in and touch it, but falls incomplete. That was Cameron Brown. Been a big target today for Fred Payton. Seems like big number 11 is his favorite man.
Yeah, 2 catches for 13 yards and that touchdown, of course, where he was in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and has gone to him a couple other times where it's been incomplete.
Fred Payton getting the start over Grayson McCall. McCall out with that shoulder injury. CJ Marable picks up a yard.
Man, just, you know, it's frustrating as a running back when you get a handoff and you just can't get anything going. And Georgia Southern's doing a nice job getting to Marable at the line of scrimmage. But he's got to be patient. You know, as a running back, you know, you fight for 1, fight for 2, fight for 4, and all of a sudden you pop 1 for 40. So, but again, 3rd and 9, not a spot you
today.
That's an offense that's normally 57% on 3rd down conversions, which is phenomenal.
Payton looking for some help. Tosses it over to Javon Hiley. And that should be a first down.
Well, and I was going to say, I'm watching the headline judge. He almost was going to set the ball down a little short, but you're on the Coastal sideline, and he needed to get to the 35. That was the line to gain, and Hiley ran his route right there. Payton puts it on him, and they pick up the first down. So that's a backbreaker for a defensive coordinator. 3rd and long, you've got to get off the field. You give up the first down, that's tough. Keeps the drive alive for Coastal, though.
Coastal at their own 35. CJ Marable, look at the room for him to run. First down, Chanticleers, and a little scuffle going on right at midfield.
Yeah, talked about being patient if you're CJ Marable. This time, nice job. Lets the defender clear, squares those shoulders up, and picks up the first down. I saw that little scuffle. That was Big Cameron Brown, the wide receiver in the middle there, blocking, and I love it. You know, wide receivers need to block on the perimeter. That's what springs big plays. And I love seeing wide receivers getting into it a little bit with the DBs.
First and 10 from their own 48. Peyton working out of the pistol. Will pull it, and he sees the pressure coming at him. Wow, didn't have much time at all to even make a decision.
But he didn't make a bad play in terms of trying to throw it up. Again, take the sack. You know, you don't want to have to take it, but try to get outside, just nothing there, and he's just going to try to get upfield, and he wisely eats the ball. And again, a different dynamic in there this week without Grayson McCall playing, who's been electrifying the beginning of his young career here.
He did try to go. He threw around 10:30 this morning, but McCall not able to play today for Coastal. Fred Payton on the move, intercepted. Derek Canteen. It's going to be Georgia Southern ball.
Yeah, and that's where Fred Payton was just staring at his receiver, who I believe was Sam Denmark, and Derek Canteen just broke on it. So there's a lot of teal grass, if you will, out in front of him where you thought he might run a little bit.
On offense, number 57. That penalty is declined. First and 10, Coastal Carolina.
But that's what happens as a
First and
quarterback.
10, Georgia Southern.
You get outside the pocket, you're staring at that one receiver, and Canteen does a beautiful job breaking on the football, making the interception.
This is a younger group for Georgia Southern. He's just a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, and so and if you're Sam Denmark, 217, you got to work back towards your quarterback. By not working back towards him, it lets the corner Canteen come and undercut it. And as you said, a redshirt freshman, and the coach said he has grown up quickly this year, getting really good game reps in and playing well. Great interception there.
Yeah, and that is his second of the season. Oh my goodness. Shai Wertz feeling it from Miles Zolufimi.
Yeah, when you see a mouthpiece fly out, and that's what I saw, and there you go, you see it at the bottom of the screen, you know you got hit pretty hard.
Southern quickly back to work. There's a hole for Wertz to work. Trying to cut to the outside. Shai Wertz, and you see what a threat he is on the ground. Remember, came into this game with over 2,600 career rushing yards.
Yeah, and then that's the danger. When you let a quarterback like Shai Wertz get out of the pocket, that's what he can do to you. So on the other side, really, Fred Payton doesn't have that ability. Grayson McCall did. So now you're starting to see that defense of Georgia Southern get to the Coastal quarterback. Here, Coastal had done a nice job. That time Wertz gets outside, or steps up in the pocket, eludes the rush, and he gets to the outside and gets it to a manageable third down here.
15-yard pickup, a great response after giving up that sack. Wertz connecting with Caleb Hood for the first down.
And that was a good throw that time by Wertz to Hood on time. Just a little slant route underneath, right at the numbers. Puts it on him quickly, and they move the chains.
Injury, timeout.
Injured player down for Coastal Carolina. We'll check on Enoch Macanzo. So Enoch Macanzo is over on the sidelines for Coastal. He was the one that was shaken up on the play.
A little bit of friendly fire here. You see Teddy Gallagher, 34, come across and kind of hit him. Macanzo, he's okay. Looks okay anyway on the sideline. So hopefully he'll be back in this one.
He was injured in the second game last season, but back this year for Coastal.
Yeah, tore an ACL last year. Nice job coming back and playing well this year.
Georgia Southern got their first third down conversion on this drive, trying to punch it in before halftime. Wertz in trouble, throws it away.
And does a nice job throwing that away. A receiver was in the area, even if he wasn't outside the pocket. So it was a good job. Headline judge talking to the referee right here, but it looked good to me.
Teron Jackson in on that one.
His big tight end, Bo Johnson, was down the field.
There was no intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside the pocket. Second down.
And if he calls him outside of the pocket, it's a moot point anyway. But he had a big receiver in the area. Yeah, he's going to slide to the right here and avoids the sack, gets it away. You're going to see his big tight ends on the sideline as well. So good no call. Proper no call.
3 wide receivers to the top of your screen for Wirtz on 2nd and 10. Cuts back inside and is drugged down.
Well, and there it looks like they're going to call a penalty, but there was a hold at the beginning of this play that the referee didn't call. Big Drew Wilson, 61, the right tackle, definitely got away with a hold early. You heard the groan from the Coastal sideline.
And then I thought Teron Jackson, did he grab his face mask?
Well, the headline judge threw the flag, but he was really far away, so he's going to talk about it here with his crew to see if he had it correctly. So you want these guys to talk it over and make sure they get the right call, because if he was just up around his shoulder, it shouldn't be a penalty. So we'll see.
There's no foul for face mask.
And Georgia Southern got
Timeout.
and we're going to see the end
Georgia
of it here.
Southern. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, I mean, from there, it looks like he was on the shoulder. Good job by the officials. Now look on the left side of the screen, big 61, Drew Wilson in white. Definitely hold. You see that right arm hooked in there? He's holding him, and you heard the groan, audible groan from the Coastal Carolina sideline, but they don't get the call.
40 seconds remaining. Georgia Southern has 2 timeouts. Coastal has all of its timeouts. Ball will be on the Coastal 37. 3rd down coming up for Georgia Southern. Shai Wirtz leading him on this drive, trying to tie this thing up before we go into the locker room.
It's been a good game. Kind of back and forth, evenly matched thus far, really. Both defenses getting after it. Offenses are trying to answer.
Georgia Southern 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Wirtz feeling the pressure heating up in the pocket. Malik Murray leaps up to make the catch. The former walk-on with a huge reception for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, unbelievable catch by Malik Murray. Great concentration looking back. And great job by Shai Wirtz to avoid the pressure and get that ball downfield for the completion.
Clock's moving. Southern on the move too. J.D. King pushing his way in, falls into the end zone. Georgia Southern a PAT away from tying this.
And Georgia Southern's one of those offenses that really, once they get momentum going, they're hard to stop. Again, excellent catch by Malik Murray to set that up. Good job by Wirtz stepping up in a pocket, finding his receiver, and then you give it to the big back. Let him finish it off for the 5-yard run, J.D. King. And that's the type of momentum you want as a team going in at halftime.
Alex Rayner on to attempt the PAT. And it's good. We have got a tie ball game, 24 seconds left. A 7-play, 54-yard drive for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, and I tell you, Coastal defensively went after Shai Wirtz with a blitz. He was able to avoid the pressure, step up, and then has the arm strength, kind of falling back to get it up. And then what a job by Murray to just kind of look back, locate that ball back shoulder, go up, make the catch, and then you give it to your big 220-pound back, lower those shoulders, run behind the pads, and carry defenders into the end zone. And then, of course, he rocked out on the sideline a little bit because everyone's got a gimmick or gadget, so they got an electric guitar. Why not?
Have you seen an electric guitar before? I think
have
that's
not.
unique to Georgia Southern.
I think it's unique to everyone, yeah, I have not.
All right, so 24 seconds for Fred Payton and this Coastal offense. after the kickoff, of course.
Yeah, and I think everything here, and they got all 3 timeouts. Everything's kind of predicated on this return. What kind of field position are they going to have? We shall see.
Marable and Reese White are back. And Marable calls for the fair catch. Well, the Big Ten season is underway this weekend. Tonight we have the oldest trophy game in college football. Number 21 Minnesota hosting number 18 Michigan for the Little Brown Jug. The 98th version of this, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC or ESPN. Are you rowing the boat or are you team khakis?
Team khakis.
Yeah.
Did you see game day there today, though? It's unseasonably cold.
It
I
is
think it was
freezing.
like in the 20s, right?
Yeah, and
So,
here we are in South Carolina.
Beautiful South Carolina.
Beautiful.
But I love that. You know, I'm from upstate New York, so I love that cold weather, that popping weather. It's good for football. Those pads popping.
And Coastal will take a knee here.
And I like that call from Jamie Chadwell. You're tied up at 14. Georgia Southern just had a good offensive possession, tied this thing. You don't want to make any mistakes with your back down towards your own end zone. So go to the end zone, go to the halftime, locker room, regroup, and we got a good ball game here.
An excellent game on the surf turf. Coastal Carolina has a perfect record on the season. Will it stay that way? Tie ball game at the half. Let's get you to the studio with Kevin Connors.
All right, Courtney, thanks so much. 30 minutes in the books from Conway and a really good game as we expected as we welcome you into the ESPN Halftime Studios. Kevin Connors here in Bristol, joined as always by the head coach, Jim Mora from Los Angeles. Week 8, and boy, we got the Big Ten back, Coach. We've been waiting for it. It's finally here, and Ohio State football underway right now, taking on a Nebraska team, Coach, who traveled well to start this one.
You know what? They came out and they had a nice drive to start things out.
To the All-State Saturday kickoff.
That perfect Coastal Carolina record in jeopardy. We've got a tie ball game here in South Carolina at 14.
And great scoring to start off. Peyton hits Sam Denmark for the big one, 72-yard strike, and then Wesley Kennedy, the all-everything player for Georgia Southern, an electrifying punt return to tie it up. And just what Georgia Southern needed. They were kind of stumbling. They get the big return, but then Coastal answers back again. Fred Payton finds his big receiver, Cameron Brown, over the top, and then a big play by Shai Wertz on 3rd down, steps up, avoids the sack, gets it to Malik Murray, and then you finish the drive off with your big back, J.D. King. The momentum that Georgia Southern needed to go into the locker room, and this thing's tied up at 14, and we should have a great second half, Courtney.
Coastal Carolina will get the ball first to start things off in the second half. The Chanticleers ranked for the first time in school history, undefeated at 4-0, and Georgia Southern wants to try to change that. Kickoff will go to CJ Marable, and he will take it tripped up around the 22-yard line. So remember, no Grayson McCall for Coastal Carolina. Fred Payton got the start as McCall is out with an injury, but here's a look at your first half stats.
And you see the rushing yards, or lack thereof, I should say, for Coastal Carolina. Remember, in college football, sacks count as minus yards, but only 2 rushing. Passing pretty good. I mean, Fred Payton has hit some receivers down the field, so total yards, yes, Coastal has the advantage there, but those rushing yards for Coastal, if they want to win this game, have to be improved this second half.
There's Grayson McCall, the redshirt freshman who has been a quarterback in those 4 games they've won this season, out with a shoulder injury. So Fred Payton gets the nod, pitches out to CJ Marable. And Fred Payton has looked pretty comfortable. I mean, he's definitely a different look than what you see with McCall.
Yeah, and that's the first time really that Coastal has run option today. And watch 36 Raynard Ellis, the middle linebacker right there. And look at his speed as he gets to Marable for that tackle, stringing it out. Again, option. You want to get him to go to the sideline. Don't let him turn those shoulders, and Ellis does a fantastic job right there.
Fred Payton, 7 of 12 for 162 yards, a couple of touchdowns today. Connects with Javon Hiley, who tries to cut back inside. He'll be taken down at the 33. Don't forget, coming up in just about 7 minutes, you can see Khabib and Gaethje. It's at 2 Eastern on pay-per-view, and a strange time fighting, of course, in Abu Dhabi, but get your second screen ready for that one.
Yeah, because we got a good one here. You don't want to miss any of this one.
Now, first game in the Eastern Division of the Sun Belt for both of these teams. A pitch again to Marable, and he's taken down for a loss.
And it was Reynard Ellis once again, the middle linebacker, just smelling it out. He's doing an excellent job of reading the play, recognizing the play, and reacting to it. Beats the block of Badowski, the big right tackle inside, and makes that play. So obviously you can see the running attack in the option game most definitely hurt today without Grayson McCall under center.
Fred Payton pulls it. Plenty of time to make a decision. Targeting Hiley. And the pass incomplete.
Yeah, and he zoned right in to Hiley, didn't look him off. Ended up being double coverage, let it go. Lucky it wasn't intercepted. Good coverage by Georgia Southern, Safety comes over late. But nice job by Baker, 14. Go up, try to high point it. Birdsong, safety comes over. And the ball falls to the ground. But that's when you got to be careful if you're Fred Payton throwing it up like that into double coverage.
Payton with 2 interceptions on the afternoon. 3rd and long. Spins out of the tackle. Gets the first down and falls forward over the 45-yard line. What a move from Fred Payton.
And that will pay huge benefits if Fred Payton can do that more in the second half. Didn't do any of that in the first half. He was getting sacked. This time, does a nice job, gets away from the pressure, steps up, and he sees the grass in front of him. And not only does he take it, he lowers his shoulder and makes sure he picks up that first down to keep this drive alive. That's a great job by Fred Payton. I would like to see more of that here if you're a Coastal fan in the second half.
A 19-yard pickup for the Chanticleers, 1st and 10 from their own 48. Payton rolls right, throws back left to Marable, who catches it at the Georgia Southern 46.
Yeah, Canteen comes up and makes that tackle, and I tell you, if he misses that tackle, a lot of room on that left side for CJ Marable.
Derek Canteen has already been named to a watch list for a freshman All-American. Made 4 appearances last year, but of course was still able to redshirt due to that rule. So he is a redshirt freshman. Payton out of the pistol with Reese White behind him. Pulls it away from White and may have lost a yard on the play. Chris Harris Jr. is there.
And again, Georgia Southern, very aggressive today, coming downhill. And you said Payton's gonna ride it, pull it out, and just nowhere to go. He thinks he sees a seam, backside, tries to cut it up. But Chris Harris, been all over the place today, makes that play.
No injured player down for Georgia Southern. It's 93, AJ Watkins out of Fairburn, Georgia. Good to see him able to get up. Big 3rd down coming. Georgia Southern trying to see if they can bring a little of that momentum on their last drive from the 2nd quarter into this 3rd quarter with their defense.
Yeah, definitely want to get a stop here. 3rd medium, 3rd and 6 here. See what Jamie Chadwell has dialed up here for his quarterback, Fred Payton.
Two wide receivers stacked on the near side. Payton almost intercepted by Reynard Ellis. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, and Scott Sloan, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Southern, once again sent pressure at Fred Payton. They were blitzing him from his right side. Payton zeroes in on his one receiver, Brown, and you see the excellent coverage there as Raynard Ellis almost intercepts it. But they're going to get the stop on 3rd down and force the punt.
Georgia Southern already has 2 interceptions this afternoon. Wesley Kennedy III back for the Eagles. Calls for the fair catch. Makes it at the 15-yard line. Big stop for Georgia Southern on the opening drive here in the 3rd quarter. Knotted up at 14. Knotted up at 14. Shai Werts was able to take this offense on a nice drive to knot the game up right before the end of the 2nd quarter. And he's got some big numbers to his name over his career. Over 3,000 passing yards, over 2,000 rushing yards. This is his 40th career start today.
I mean, he's known as a runner, but obviously you look at his stats and you watch him play, he can throw the ball. And they're starting to do it more and more, and it just makes him that much more dangerous.
I give it to J.D. King. And we were talking to the offensive coordinator, Bob DeBess, about Shai Werts. He said he's kind of like the security blanket. He's already proven that he can run this offense effectively. He knows it, so he bails us out of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a 4-year starter with the experience Shai Werts has, that's just a luxury as an offensive coordinator and a head coach. You just feel so good about, you know, get him the offense and letting him go.
2nd and 9. Off play action for Werts, connects to Malik Murray, who had a big catch in the 2nd quarter. 1st down for Georgia Southern.
Yeah, and, you know, and Murray's got excellent speed, so they got to give him a cushion. He's just going to run a slant. Good job by Shai Werts putting it on him. Just moving the chains. Good play fake.
Mateo Sudipo on the tackle for Coastal. 1st and 10 from their own 30. They'll put Murray in motion. Still falling forward is J.D. King. Love the effort.
Well, you better put a couple bodies on him because he's big and strong. We've talked about his size, 5'11", 220. Big, strong legs, and I just love the leg drive, and he's got good lean, you know, for a back that's good height, good shoulder lean, and he will drive, he will take you for a ride if your teammates do not come and help you tackle him. Love that.
On 1st down, they go back to him, gets back to the original line of scrimmage. He's had a couple of games with 100+ rushing yards this season for Georgia Southern. He actually had a career-high 196 rushing yards against ULM.
Yeah, and when you feed him like that and he has success, you know, between the guards and the center, that's when Shai Werts is more dangerous. He's able to pull it, ride that mesh, pull it, and get to the outside, keeping it or pitching it.
This time it's Wesley Kennedy III in the backfield to Werts' right. He won't give it to him and throws it to the turf at the feet of Malik Murray. 3rd and 10 coming.
Yeah, good job by Coastal there. Werts couldn't come up with the completion. And a big 3rd down here for this Chanticleer's defense, try to get off the field.
Georgia Southern 2 for 7 on 3rd down.
See McConzo back in the game. He was shaken up earlier. Back in.
Werts has Kennedy with him. 2 wide receivers to the top of your screen. That's Malik Murray in motion. Werts looking to the right and overthrows Emil Smith.
Yeah, and Smith slipped coming out of his break. Fell down. I don't know if it would have been completed if he didn't slip, but the timing definitely was off because of the slip on the outcut.
The surf turf strikes again. And so Anthony Beck III will come on to punt for Georgia Southern. Both teams having to punt on their opening drives here in the third quarter. Javon Hiley is back for Coastal. It's going to roll. They'll let it bounce. How about that? A great punt from Anthony Beck III. And Coastal will start inside its own 5.
Timeout.
Tie ball game here at Brooks Stadium here in the third quarter. And if you're around the Coastal football program at all, you might hear them talk about 24. They've got it on wristbands that every member of the team has. That's their theme this year. Last season, they had 5 losses by a combined total of 24 points. And it came down to several things: penalties, turnovers, red zone, and third down. These are the 4 areas they identified as weaknesses last year. And with that 24 theme, they've definitely improved.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, I mean, improved tremendously, and it's shown, right? 4-0, nationally ranked, playing really good football. So they've taken it to heart, and they've really came out this season and have played well.
Peyton's pass is incomplete. Yeah, we got to speak to a defensive end, CJ Brewer, about that, and I kind of asked him, you know, how much does the team buy into this 24 mantra? And he said, no, we talk about it all the time. It is fresh in our minds. It's not just a gimmick.
And remember, this program's been through a lot, and these seniors on this team, when they started, they were at the FCS level. So they've transitioned, they've gone from FCS to FBS, and now, you know, really with a chance to win the Sun Belt and make a historic season for Coastal Carolina.
Coastal will hand it off. Not a ton of room to run.
Well, and it's tough, Courtney, with your back to the goal line. You throw it on first down, it goes incomplete. Now you're running on second down. Now, I mean, that defense is just licking their chops. They come downhill, make a play for a 1-yard gain, and now you're 3rd and 9 with your back to your goal line. And usually only bad things happen to offenses down here, especially when your normal starting quarterback isn't in. But we'll see.
If you're just joining us, no Grayson McCall out with a shoulder injury today. It's been Fred Payton, who started 6 games last year for the Chanticleers. Payton in trouble, runs it out of the end zone, falls forward for the first down. That's twice now we've seen him bail out Coastal.
And yeah, again, he has to do that. And he does a good job. Georgia Southern decides not to blitz him that time. They just rush with 4. He scans the field, he steps up and knows, okay, right now I'm a running back. Tuck that thing away, get upfield, catches a block. Good job, and he moves the chains, and more importantly, they get it off their own goal line, get that breathing room.
11-yard pickup for the Chanticleers, 1st and 10 now from the 15. That's Shermari Jones on the carry. And just watching Fred Payton run, it doesn't look like that right Achilles that was given in some problems in fall camp is an issue.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
This is CJ Marable, just eaten up by Raynard Ellis.
Well, it's either 36 Raynard Ellis or 32 Chris Harris, both Mike linebackers. I mean, we are calling their names out a ton today, making plays from that middle linebacker spot.
Ellis spent a season at Furman before coming to Georgia Southern, an all-Sun Belt honorable mention selection last year. He had a team-high 86 tackles. Pistol look for Coastal, 3 wide receivers on the near side. And it's going to be a timeout for Coastal Carolina.
Timeout. Coastal Carolina. First timeout of the second half.
It's their
this is a
first
30-second timeout.
Tied up here in Conway.
Media timeout.
You are watching the All-State Saturday kickoff here in Conway, South Carolina. Courtney Lyle, Rini Angolia with you. And Coastal Carolina has a streak coming into this game as they are tied up here at 14 all. They've only got a handful of minutes to keep this going. Most consecutive quarters scoring a touchdown. They are at 15. That leads the nation.
And if you don't convert here and give it back to Georgia Southern, third quarter could be over before you know it.
So out of this timeout, it is 3rd and 4. Fred Payton throws it behind his intended target. And they won't be able to convert.
And that was Raymond Johnson, number 0, the right defensive end. Just an unbelievable rush. You see it from the left side, knocks those hands down. Great job. Gets to Fred Payton, puts a hit on him. And so you can be disruptive and be playing great football and not necessarily have great stats up front, and that's what Raymond Johnson does. You look at him and you're like, oh, his stats aren't great, but he makes plays. They just don't show up on the stat board because of a play like that.
Kennedy's back for Georgia Southern. Fields it at the 40 and it comes loose. Bounces right back into his hands. And the Coastal defense takes him down at the 20. They're going to mark the ball at the 26-yard line. Jordan Morris.
And I'm almost wondering, why do you even punt to him, right? Because we know how explosive he is, and you can see what he did there. He caught the ball and he didn't secure it, and he's looking downfield because he wants to see who he's going to try to make miss. He fumbles it, but he gets the home hop as an away team as the ball bounces right back up into his hands, and they keep possession.
Yeah, Wesley Kennedy already has a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown that tied the game at 7-all in the first quarter. All right, still looking for our first score of the third quarter. Justin Tomlin taking the snap in at quarterback there for Georgia Southern. And Tomlin is going to stay in. We're trying to get eyes on Shai Werts.
I saw him kind of squatting down on the sideline, kind of working something out. So obviously don't want to speculate. We have no idea, but to keep an eye on this.
So Tomlin has a couple of carries for 10 yards this season. Made 7 appearances last year for Georgia Southern. He'll keep it and trudges forward for the first down, and then a couple marked at the 39. There's Shai Werts over on the Georgia Southern sideline.
Yeah, something's obviously bothering him. Trying to work something out. But a good shot by Tomlin. Looks like he may have opened the wrong way, but no worries. He knows where to go afterwards. Gets to the outside, squares those shoulders, and gets the first down.
Now, Justin Tomlin was the quarterback who filled in when Shai Werts missed 2 games last season after a right shoulder injury against LSU. Caleb Hood in motion, and they give it off to Kennedy. Pickup of 1.
And it looks like he's being helped. The locker room possibly. You hope for the best. You hope he's okay. Nothing that we saw. There wasn't a play that stood out.
Yeah.
So.
So not a good sign for Georgia Southern. Shai Werts being helped off of the field, off of the playing area. Justin Tomlin, they'll rely on him now. And he looks pretty sharp, connects with Caleb Hood.
That's a good quick release by Justin Tomlin. Puts it right on Hood for the completion. Zips it out there, good catch. Ball gets bobbled a little bit, but he holds on.
3rd and 4. This might be the story of which backup quarterback comes out on top.
And I would expect Chad Staggs, the defensive coordinator for Coastal, dial up some sort of pressure here. Trying to get after Tomlin. Of course, they may run it here, even though it's 3rd and 4.
We've got King and Kennedy back there. Turns back to his right and overthrows the intended target, the tight end, Bo Johnson.
And it was a great play call. Roll the quarterback to the left. Looks like he's going to run it. He drops back. You drag the tight end across away from the formation. They had it, just couldn't connect. Good play call, just not good execution. Looks like it's going to be power left. Pulls it back. Good blocking. And that's you see it came out of Tomlin's hand. Just He rifled it just a little much. That time, just a little more touch on the ball. Let his big tight end get there, make that catch, and pick up the first down. Just couldn't connect.
Anthony Beck with the punt. This is Javon Hiley. They'll mark it at the 11.
Yeah, great punt by Beck. Flipping the field.
We'll kick off your NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. My Tennessee Titans are looking
pretty
phenomenal right now.
Yep.
Not sorry about it.
Coach Vrabel getting huge accolades as a head coach, right? Doing a nice job.
It's nice to have Derrick Henry too, by the way.
He throws a mean stiff arm.
Yes.
As a former running back, I love it.
All right, so here goes Coastal. No scores here in the third quarter after we were knotted at 14 at halftime. Fred Payton is flushed. And Javon Hiley, yes, on the sideline for Coastal Carolina, first down.
Yeah, Payton gets flushed out of the pocket to the left. Looked like he's going to run it, but boy, keeps his head up and throws a nice ball to Hiley on the sideline. Great concentration, makes the catch, gets the feed in, and that's a nice play to try to jumpstart this offense because it's really been stagnant since the first half.
Yeah, Georgia Southern's defense has done a really nice job. Payton gives it up to Marable.
Yeah, just no running room between the tackles today thus far for Coastal Carolina. We saw the one where Marable cut it back and picked up 10 or 12 yards, but other than that, it's just been tough sledding in there.
Yeah, Coastal averages over 200 rushing yards a game, and they have 33.
Yeah. And you see number 4, Isaiah Likely, the tight end, outstanding tight end. It's been hampered with a foot injury. He's back in the game right now, and we haven't called his name out at all today, and he's a matchup issue that you want to try to get him the ball. So we'll see here in a little bit over a quarter left if they can find him.
Payton looks his way, but tries to get it out to Sam Denmark, and it's dropped. It's been a favorite target today for Fred Payton, looking Sam Denmark's way.
Yeah, a little comeback route there, and Denmark can't hold it, but I tell you what, even if he catches it, Courtney, good defense by Georgia Southern. They were there to make that tackle. Would have been a short gain, and you're still 3rd and 11 here.
Likely goes in motion. Marable will shift over to Payton's right. He's looking for him. Actually looks to the further outside receiver. And it's Javon Hiley again with the sideline grab.
And I like that progression out of Fred Payton because you're right. He looked at Likely, saw that he wasn't open, and he just kept, his eyes kept going to the outside. Hiley does a nice job coming back to the ball on the outside. It's low and away. Payton puts it there where only his receiver can go down and make the catch, and Hiley does that. And that's a huge 3rd down conversion on 3rd and 11 for the Chanticleers.
They pitch it back and reverse it to the other side of the field. It was Tyson Mobley.
Yeah, the true freshman, and the play almost got blown up. There was so much penetration from Georgia Southern that Payton almost couldn't pitch it, but he had patience. He waited for Mobley to clear the traffic and was able to toss it to him for the pickup.
Coastal Carolina trying to keep this historic streak going. 10 days ago, they picked up their first win over a ranked opponent, and then they themselves are now ranked for the first time. CJ Marable. It's been just a yard here, a yard there for Marable.
Yeah, again, the linebackers for Georgia Southern have been tremendous today, filling the gaps, getting up there, and of course that defensive line doing a nice job as well. So they've played really nicely up front as Georgia Southern.
No scoring here in this third quarter. Raynard Ellis is down for Georgia Southern. We'll keep an eye on him, tied up at 14.
The All-State Saturday Kickoff is presented by Allstate. You've never been in better hands.
Start of the fourth quarter here at Brooks Stadium, and the Surf Turf knotted up at 14, our same halftime score. And we thought it was going to be the Grayson McCall and Shai Werts show, but now we are down to backup quarterbacks for both. Fred Payton out there now, and we saw Justin Tomlin come in for Georgia Southern after Shai Werts went off in the third quarter with an injury. Here goes Fred Payton, still keeping his eyes downfield as he picks up the first down.
So we talked about it, right? He didn't do any of that in the first half. Justin, really, the third quarter, and now the first play in the fourth quarter, he's done that 3 times where he's done it on his own. Obviously, good coverage on the back end, and Payton gets outside the pocket, turns it up, and has a nice chunk gain with his feet. So he needed to do more of that, and he definitely is.
9 carries for 30 yards so far for Fred Payton. Most of that, as you said, coming here in the second half. Off play action. Hey, there's Isaiah Likely right through his hands. That might be the first time we've seen the ball thrown his way.
I think it was, and it was a little high. It would have been a good catch, and again, credit the Georgia Southern defense because they got to Fred Payton, put a hit on him, forced him to throw that ball just a little quicker than he wanted. It floated just a little bit, and the big tight end couldn't come down with it, but I like that they're looking for him, that they're trying to target him.
Did not play last week, was out with a lower body injury, but was able to practice this week, Isaiah Likely. Payton going to the air again on second down. There's Marable coming out of the backfield. Met by Rashad Bird, who takes him to the ground.
It's an athletic defense that flies at a football, but I like this check down here because it does 2 things. One, gets you positive yards. It gets it to your skill athlete, Marable, in space to make a play. It gets you into field goal range as well if you don't gain any more yardage. And it just gets into a manageable third down at 3rd and, we'll call it 5, maybe 6.
Coastal converting on 40% of their third downs this afternoon. Payton immediately looks over to Mr. Third Down himself, Greg Latushko.
Yeah, who else would you look for, right? Latushko over the middle. We said it, he's dependable. He knows he's going to get a hit as he takes his slant route. He knows the safety's coming. Holds on to the ball, takes the hit from Anthony Wilson. And that's what good possession receivers do. Dependable, good hands, you're in traffic, you know you're going to get hit, but you need to make that catch to keep drives alive. That's what Latushko does.
5 of his 7 catches on the season have been on third down. Marable gets his number called, looking for some room on the edge. Maybe gets forward a yard or 2.
And again, Chris Harris, 32, playing that Mike linebacker. If it's not him, it's Raynard Ellis. Of course, we saw him hobble off the field, but middle linebackers are playing outstanding today.
And Dylan Springer is down right now, the defensive end for Georgia Southern. We'll step away as they take a look at
Media.
Dylan Springer.
Timeout.
Tied up at 14. Our Monday Night Football matchup showcases 2 of the NFL's best defenses. Sack leader Aaron Donald and the 4-2 Rams host Khalil Mack and the NFC North leading Bears. You can see it at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app.
Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack, probably, I don't even think it's probably, the best 2 defensive players in the NFL. And there's no question about it.
We've seen some good defense here from Georgia Southern, especially here in the second half. Fred Payton almost picked off by a DB just flying in. It was Anthony Wilson.
And the ball it just hung a little bit. It just didn't get to the receiver with quite enough zip. The safety was able to break on the ball. It looked like it was going to be a completion. And nice job by Anthony Wilson to come out of there and break it up.
Chanticleers came into this game a perfect 18 for 18 in the red zone. They're now 1 for 2 today.
That's going to be a delay of game. He did not get it off, and they did not want to use a timeout. They were telling him, get this snap off, and
Delay
he didn't.
game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remain third down.
You know, they've already called one timeout in the second half. They didn't want to take another one. They're in a tight game, and that's where Fred Payton has to have that field awareness, knowing I got to get this snap off. Didn't do it. It's a big 5-yard penalty there.
3rd and 15 for Jamie Chadwell's group. Fakes the handoff and tosses one up to the corner. He was looking for Javon Hiley. Excuse me, that's Isaiah Likely, the tight end.
And that's a matchup they think they can win, likely on the strong safety Anthony Wilson. But I tell you, Wilson has been playing excellent defense, and that was good coverage there in the back of the end zone.
So Massimo Biscardi, who hit the game-winning field goal last week to knock off number 21 Louisiana, will come out for a 41-yard field goal. His longest of the season is 42. Boots it up.
No good.
No good. We've seen 2 missed field goals now. What a huge win for Georgia Southern's defense.
Media, timeout.
The score will stay the same as the field goal missed from Massimo Biscardi, knotted at 14. .12:15 to go here in the 4th quarter. Tie ball game. Good sign for Georgia Southern in that last break. Shai Werts came sprinting back out onto the field. Get that man a helmet.
Get him his helmet. Get in there.
Only missed 1 series, but good sign for Eagles fans. He's back on the field.
And the way he was running, if I was a betting man, he was probably a little dehydrated, maybe cramping up a little bit. Probably got him something for that dehydration, I would say, or for those cramps, and he's looking pretty good.
Now you see his numbers today, 6 for 14 for 80 yards, 1 interception. He's also rushed for 31 yards. Pitches it out quickly to J.D. King. Cuts back inside and falls over the 30-yard line to the 31.
That's the first time I think we saw the big man on the outside today. A little pitch to J.D. King, who's been doing most of his damage between the tackles today. Showing you, got a little speed, get to the outside too.
Yeah, Bob DeBest, the OC, told us that, you know, they love Wesley Kennedy on that pitch because he's got that speed, but they're not afraid to do it with J.D. King either. Dump it out to the near side, but the pass incomplete. Intended for Malik Murray.
Yeah, try to get to Murray, and that's one of those balls, that's kind of just like an extension of the run game. You just want to try to get it out there as quick as you can. Float it on a little bit. Murray can't come up with the ball. 3rd and 3.
Southern on its own 31-yard line here on 3rd down. Werts looking upfield, and the pass slips through the fingers of Wesley Kennedy.
Yeah, and that's one, boy, if he can get it on Kennedy, they got the first down. Just can't quite time it up. And Kennedy comes out of the backfield, run a little, it's called an option route. Comes back inside, it's a little high. Kennedy knows that linebacker, Teddy Gallagher's coming, and just cannot come up with it, and a good job by the Chanticleers defense.
Anthony Beck to punt, Javon Hiley back for the Chanticleers. Ooh, and Coastal almost got a hand on it. It'll be fair caught at the 37-yard line. We haven't seen any scoring here in this second half. What's changed?
You know, I just think the defenses are playing well today,
Yeah.
and a few of the scores we saw were big plays, right? We saw the big punt return. We've seen the big passes. Coastal for the one touchdown, and it was actually another big pass to Hiley that set him up down there. So really the big play has been eliminated here in the second half. The defenses have stopped that for the most part.
And again, no Grayson McCall for Coastal Carolina today, out with a shoulder injury. They did try around 10:30 this morning to let him throw to see if he could go, but they're confident in Fred Payton, and we can see why.
Yeah. And it's a luxury to have a quarterback that can come off the bench with experience.
I started 6 games last year. Coastal on the move. What a nice run, Shamari Jones.
And that's, I think, the only second carry for Jones today, if I'm not mistaken. He's a bigger back, 6'1", 220, more of a downhill guy. And I thought maybe they try to get him the ball a little bit because, boy, he looked pretty explosive right there running downhill.
Yeah, they've got C.J. Marable, Reese White, and Shamari Jones, all who they love in their backfield. Oh my gosh, the hole. A crater in the middle of the field, and Shamari Jones again. First down, Coastal.
And that's the first time today with that run that the linebackers weren't there. They stepped up, great job blocking. Chris Harris, 32, played option, and there was a big vacated hole in the middle, and boy, Shamari Jones hits it in another gashing run.
Jones had 8 carries for 28 yards last week in the upset of Louisiana. This time it's Marable. Pick up a 4.
I was going to say, but even that, even a 4-yard pickup on first down, much better than what they were doing. They were getting stopped at the line of scrimmage, 1-yard gains, 1-yard losses. So now you almost wonder if Coastal came off and said, I think we had them worn down a little bit with that big defensive line. I think we can go at them, Coach, because they're starting to have some success there now between the tackles.
Yeah, Coastal now with 90 rushing yards. They average just over 200 a game. Hard to do against this Georgia Southern defense. Marable flips sides. And they pitch it to him. Nice lane to run. Gets the first down for the Chanticleers.
And I like how Marable, just no wasted effort out there, gets the pitch, turns the shoulder and says, I'm going to go get this first down. And so the success of this play was off the last couple inside runs, as the linebackers, again, have to hold to respect that inside run of Jones. Good job by Fred Payton. The pitch to Marable, and another first down.
Coastal had 2 rushing yards in the first half. They have 95 now. Payton pulls it. C.J. Marable all by himself. Touchdown, Chanticleers.
And Fred Payton, the quarterback, looks more relaxed here in the second half. I think he's doing a better job of scanning the field. Marable's going to come out of the backfield. He's one-on-one with a linebacker. The linebacker comes up. He said, I'm going to run right by the linebacker. That's a mismatch. Safety doesn't roll over, and it's a good job by Fred Payton, the quarterback, to find his running back and put it on him.
Biscardi to attempt the extra point. And it's good. Coastal Carolina trying to keep that record perfect.
Media.
A 24-yard touchdown pass to C.J. Marable, and they lead at 21-14. 24-yard touchdown puts Coastal Carolina up. Let's take a look at today's protection spotlight. It's brought to you by Allstate.
And we've talked about the Coastal Carolina offensive line, done a nice job all year. Look at the nice clean pocket here for Fred Payton to scan the field. Excellent protection. Lets him find Maribel out of the backfield for a huge score for Coastal Carolina to take this lead. So nice job, that offensive line, with their protection there.
Makes it a 21-14 ball game. Under 9 minutes to go here in Conway. And Georgia Southern will start things off at their own 11.
And we'll see now with Shai Wertz if they can answer.
Shai Wertz left the game for a series, but came back in last time Georgia Southern had the ball.
And only that, went 3 and out. You thought he looked excited, a little more momentum, but we'll see how they do here. Ton of time left in this game.
It was Georgia Southern last year getting the win over Coastal Carolina. That one was in the pouring rain and a 3 overtime thriller.
A few overtimes.
Just a couple. And they've blown the whistle.
Well, he fair caught it. Normally the ball goes to the 25, so I don't know if the referee, we got an explanation. I know Chad Lunsford wants an explanation, and that's what he's asking him. But I guarantee you that's exactly what they're talking about.
Trennis Livingston is our white hat today.
And Trennis, he's been giving us explanations all day, so
yeah.
Trennis, give us one. We're not going to get it.
So they don't change anything. Here comes Georgia Southern. Wertz didn't see anything upfield. Tried to check it down to J.D. King and threw it at his feet.
Yeah, good pressure that time. We talked about C.J. Brewer. We talked to him this week, and just one of those team leaders, number 52 for Coastal Carolina, getting after it there from that defensive end position, defensive tackle position. Getting some good pressure on Shai Wertz.
Second and 10. King is stopped by Coastal. And going back to C.J. Brewer, he talked to us about how him and Teron Jackson have really brought along Gerard Clark. So that front three, they're working together in the weight room. They're pushing each other, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and they did a nice job right here because Georgia Southern has had success with J.D. King in there, but not that time. Getting off blocks and getting to the big back is what you need to do, and they did a nice job right there.
3rd and 8. Wertz in trouble, trying to step up, nowhere to go.
And I tell you, only 5,000 fans, that's what's allowed here. Considered a sellout. Got a little loud there on that 3rd down, so sounded good in this stadium. Yeah, the pocket's just gonna collapse. Good coverage on the back end for Coastal Carolina, and then you see get off blocks and get to Shai Wertz because you know how dangerous he is. And there's our man right there, C.J. Brewer, to get there and make that play.
One of the biggest maturity growths on the team, according to the coaching staff. C.J. Brewer, the leader on this defensive line. Watch out for him on offense, too, by the way. He's got a touchdown catch this year. Hiley fields it at the 45. Over midfield. Still on his feet. Javon Hiley to the 20. What a boost for Coastal. 35-yard return.
So we saw the exciting punt return from Wesley Kennedy in the first half. Now we're going to see Javon Hiley. Nice job making the catch. Bends it to the left and then sees great vision to bring it back to the right side, catches a couple blocks. Gets it back to the 20, already in the red zone for Coastal Carolina.
Javon Hiley said he doesn't care about their record this year. He wants a ring. That is the ultimate goal, and he's playing like it.
And you just feel like the last few possessions, you just kind of feel like a momentum switch here towards Coastal Carolina.
Payton gives it up to Reese White. Boom! Chanticleers in the end zone.
So CJ Maribel's got to be saying, man, it's just tough sledding for me. All of a sudden you bring in Shamari Jones, a couple big runs, and now you hand it to Reese White. I love how he presses the hole, good vision, and he bounces it to the right side. Could stick that foot in the ground on the linebacker, get it north and south, and get it in the end zone. Nice run by Reese Smith. Or excuse me, Reese White.
Second touchdown this season for Reese White. Here's Biscardi. Knocks through that extra point. Coastal Carolina looking like a ranked team here in the fourth quarter. They lead at 28-14.
And so you heard me say press the hole. That means the running back gets up into it, and then you got to use your vision. You can't teach it, you either have it. Nice job by White. Presses it, slides to the right, or bounces it, as you would say. And then he's going to put that foot in the ground, that right foot there, boom. Square those shoulders and go with speed. Excellent run. Good job. And I mean, it's unbelievable, Courtney. Literally, like 2 minutes ago, it was tie game. And just like that, a couple good runs, score, good defensive stand, some good plays. You get a good punt return, boom. And just like that, you're up by 2 touchdowns.
For the third quarter, it looks like it came from a different game at this point.
There's Big Bill Durkin, full disclosure, former teammate of mine at UMass, former offensive lineman, All-American. He's the offensive line coach here at Coastal Carolina. The offensive line's gotten a lot of credit. Sam Thompson, the center, great national article this week by Andy Staples, and you know they list him at 5'9", 290. He's probably more like 5'8", so great story. And Willie Lampkin, left guard, 6'1", Trey Carter, 6'1", the right guard. So smaller offensive line that gets after it. Low man wins. That's what that offensive line says.
After all the hype that Bill Durkin's offensive line has got, Jamie Chadwell said he's got about 1,000 emails right now from 5'9" offensive linemen.
Yeah. Well, and the truth be told, I mean, there's so much gets put on height and long arms, and really it makes a difference for the tackle position. But really, center guard, again, low man wins. But honestly, if these guys, if Sam Thompson, if Willie Lampkin, if they're 6'3", 6'4", if they're 3-4 inches taller, they're not here at Coastal Carolina. I mean, that's just the way the recruiting game is.
Coastal Carolina has 202 yards in this half. Georgia Southern has 40. There's J.D. King for the carry, takes it to the 29-yard line. Again, tonight we will see Michigan and Minnesota, first game of the season for these two Big Ten teams. Joe Milton making his first career start with a basically brand new offensive line as Wirtz carries it. First down for Georgia Southern.
It's just crazy because obviously we're towards the end of October and it's their first game, so you don't really know what to expect, right? Because usually you start the season off, you get a couple cupcakes here and there, but boom, right into conference play. So that'll be fascinating tonight.
And for the Big Ten too, you really had to start, we're gonna do fall camp, and then stop. We're not playing. And then you start again.
It's been nuts, to say the least.
What hasn't been in 2020 though? Wirtz taking his time, and Coastal Carolina taking him down. Enoch Macanzo.
Yeah, and I thought that he was going to be held for a second. He was so fast off that right corner and dipped and got to Shai Wirtz from the left side of the screen. You're going to see him. I love to see that dip right there. Gets right by the offensive lineman, Caleb Kelly, for the sack.
Oh, Wirtz in trouble again. Almost tripped up and steps out of bounds at the 38.
Yeah, gets it back to the regular line of scrimmage, but now down 2 scores if you're Coastal Carolina, you got to keep everything in front of you. Do not get beat by a big play. No quick scores, no big plays. You know, let Shy Werts earn it. Come up and make tackles.
Third and 9. Georgia Southern is 2 for 11 on third down. All pressure, all kinds of pressure in the pocket. And no, he was out of bounds when he grabbed that.
Yeah, Spillum intercepted that ball, but he was out of bounds. Now you're 4th and 9, and you got to punt it here.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass.
But I tell you what, he did an unbelievable job trying to get that right
Georgia
toe
Southern.
down. He didn't do it,
This will
but
be a
boy,
30-second timeout.
made it a lot
First
closer
timeout
than it
of the
should have
second
been.
half to half.
Georgia Southern calls a timeout.
Well, and they're obviously contemplating going for it here at 4th and 9. You're at your own 39, but the problem here with 5 minutes left, you go for it here and you don't get it, and you give them the ball here with a short field, down 2 scores, it could be lights out. So this is why the coaches make the big bucks. These are the decisions you got to make. You know, your defense has played good enough, I believe, that you can punt this thing away and go play defense. But, you know, half the country's out there yelling at me, no, you're crazy, you got to go for it. So, you know, if you go for it and you get it, then it's the right call, right? If you go for it and you don't, and they're going to go for it.
First time they've gone for it on 4th down this afternoon.
And that's why I'm glad I'm up here and not down there.
Shy Werts has J.D. King back there with him. 2 wide receivers either side. No way, says Coastal Carolina.
And just great pressure up front. And I believe it was Jeffrey Gunter, right, 94? And he kind of came on a stunt from the outside. He's going to come back in through the inside. He sure does. And there's just too many people there as well.
Yeah, Teron Jackson also got there.
That's who it was. Teron Jackson's the one that stunted from the outside, came back inside. Gunter was on that right side, and they met at the quarterback. Just playing, you just feel like that defensive front for Coastal Carolina playing a little higher gear in the second half than they did in the first half.
You always wonder how a team is going to respond after such a huge win like Coastal Carolina had last week, a history-making win, their first ranked win in Coastal history, and then they get their first ranking. They've responded pretty well so far. Shamari Jones, it's been his 4th quarter.
And you almost wonder again if, because the defensive line was playing great for Georgia Southern, if it just this game kind of wore them down. And we talked about the offensive line at Coastal, and rushing yards, only 2 yards in the first half, but they have really made a concerted effort to get that running game going, driving off the ball, and another nice run there by Shamari Jones. Now the hardest thing for a quick-paced team like a Coastal to do is now slow it down and let the clock run, and they won't even get Fred Payton behind the center for the snap until about 8 seconds on the play clock, so good job.
They stick to the ground with Marable. Pickup of 3. Do you think it plays in any that Coastal Carolina played 10 days ago? They had 3 extra days of rest.
Yeah, I mean, I think that helps out a lot, and it lets you get ready for this team, this triple option attack
Timeout.
of Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern. Get timeout at half. This is a 30-second timeout.
We'll step aside. 4:16 to go here on the surf turf. Coastal leads it. Coastal Carolina trying to add on a little more insurance in this one. 4:16 to go. Courtney Lyle, Rini and Golia with you. Watching the undefeated Chanticleers try to keep that ranking next to their name. The first time they've been ranked in school history.
That fierce rooster that dominates the barnyard.
With his brains.
Love the Chanticleer.
Fred Payton has been pretty solid for Coastal today, getting the start over Grayson McCall, who's out with an injury. Oh, and no room to run for C.J. Marable.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, well, that time, C.J. Wright looked like he
Timeout.
was shot out of a
Georgia
cannon.
Southern. Third and final timeout of the second half.
Makes that tackle,
30
the
seconds.
TFL tackle for the loss. Of course, Georgia Southern only one timeout left. I believe that was their last one, correct?
Yes, that will be their final timeout. You know, everybody's been talking about Coastal Carolina, and so the question has become, what is a Chanticleer? Well, the first question is, how do you say it? And it's Chanticleer.
Yep.
And these are some of the mascots through the years. It actually comes from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales.
That one looks like from a chicken restaurant or something,
Yeah.
so we got to get rid of that one.
They did.
Better, and they did.
Moved right on. Yep. It's a proud and fierce rooster who dominates the barnyard using his brains to
I
come
love
out.
that. I love their current one. He
Yeah.
he looks it. You know, he looks the part. He looks like a fierce rooster that would dominate the barnyard. You don't mess with that guy.
Absolutely not. They even put out a PSA on their social media about how to say Chanticleer.
Well, and guess what? The team's backing it up too. The team is playing, you know, like the Chanticleer. When you play like your mascot, it's usually a good thing.
Fred Payton tucks it and runs inside the 15 he goes.
And I love the call. It's a safe call. It's a quarterback draw. If he breaks through and gets the first down, great. If not, clock's still running. They have no timeouts left. A field goal puts you up by 3 scores. So you don't need the touchdown. You need the field goal for sure. So I like the play call. And they almost got the first down.
Coastal has been much more effective here in the fourth quarter. We were tied up at halftime at 14 all. That first half was a wild one. We saw a 72-yard touchdown, a 60-yard punt return by Georgia Southern for a touchdown.
Saw back-to-back interceptions on
right,
plays?
yes.
Yeah. So they'll run this down. Jamie Chadwell called timeout with 1 second on the play clock. And Massimo Biscardi.
Timeout, Coastal Carolina. Second timeout of the second half.
Can make amends
This is the
for the
32nd timeout.
the miss he had earlier.
Well, it was 10 days ago when Coastal Carolina made history. Facing number 21, Louisiana. They had never beaten a ranked opponent before. It was Grayson McCall, of course, in at quarterback. Able to keep it here, punch it in, gives Coastal a 27-20 lead. Then it took the Raging Cajuns just 4 plays to tie the game at 27 all. There's Elijah Mitchell. 4 seconds left. Massimo Biscardi hit a 40-yard field goal, cruising Coastal into the record books. The celebration we showed you earlier was just electric in this locker room for Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, you know, and talking to the coaches, and this is the second time I've seen Coastal Carolina this season, the team loves football. They love to play the game. And you know, people say, well, they all love to play. No, some teams don't. And these guys, they love practice. They love everything about it. They have fun, and it shows. And guess what? They're going to go for it on fourth down. They're going to say, Massimo, you did your work last week. Rest. We're going to try to get a first down here and just be able to take knees and end this game.
Peyton rolling on fourth down. Greg Latushko is there.
Yeah, and they got it, I believe, to their big fullback, but he didn't get the first down. They're going to call him short at the 10. He was a yard short, and that's where the big man
on the field. The runner was short of the line of the game. First and 10, Georgia Southern.
Yeah, it was McSweeney, number 40, one of their tight ends, and that's where McSweeney, big guy, you got to square those shoulders. You got to get where that first down is. He was coming from like a fullback position, little flat route right here, turn and go hard. Woo! And you're going to call him short. Thought he got a little closer than a yard short, I can tell you that. Yeah, that's where as the tight end or a fullback, you wish you could just turn your shoulders back upfield and just take it away from the referee. Just get the first down where there's no question about it.
Shy Works will have to work quickly. Only 3:15 to go in this ball game, down a couple of scores. Out to the flat they go, and Wesley Kennedy powers forward through for a first down.
Interesting decision, though, by Jamie Chadwell, because, again, the field goal would have put him up by 3 scores. Instead, still life for Georgia Southern, only down 2 scores. No timeouts left, though, with 3 minutes left. They got to get on their horse quickly here.
Georgia Southern has not scored since the second quarter.
And they're going to have a false start. And that'll incur a 10-second runoff because the clock was running.
Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty, remain first down.
Well, it should. Let's see if. And I guess I'm wrong, so we'll move on.
It's under a minute and a half.
Oh, you're right. I am wrong. Getting ahead of myself.
Wirtz on the move. Nowhere to go, even as he rolls out.
And again, back to the clock that I just bungled. He runs out of bounds, but the clock will reset and start because it's not under 2 minutes. So clock's gonna still running. So again, if you're Coastal Carolina, keep them in front of you. No big plays over the top.
Again, Georgia Southern has no timeouts. Down the field, shot, and it's picked off! To Jordan Strong with the INT.
The old tip drill. To Jordan Strong in the right position. Now you saw a lot of flags. That's post-interception. There was a hold, a big-time hold on the return. So it'll penalty be incurred. It'll back up Coastal Carolina, but it's going to be their ball.
Second INT by Jordan Strong today. His third of the season, and there's a player down for Georgia Southern on the far sideline. It's Wesley Kennedy.
And he's up, and that's a good sign for them. And he was the one that got held.
Holding on the defense. 10 yards from the spotted foul. First and 10.
What a big play from Jordan Strong. 2 interceptions today.
Yeah, and I mean, Shai Wirtz just trying to make a play. Down 2 scores, you have to. Puts it up, it gets tipped. To Jordan Strong right there, makes the interception. And this game's over. A few knees from Coastal Carolina.
There's the turnover cloak.
And the sword as well,
Yes.
right? I mean,
you gotta have the sword.
You gotta have the sword. You can't have a cloak without a sword.
If you're gonna go in, you go all in.
And so the math isn't quite there with 2:16 left, so I would imagine they will run a play here, and then we will see knees.
Send it up the middle, and Georgia Southern ready for it. What do you think of Fred Payton today getting the start with Grayson McCall out?
I thought he did exactly what you want your backup quarterback to do. Come in, kind of, it's hard to say not miss a beat because he's not the starter for a reason, but he did everything he needed to do to get a win for his team. I thought he threw the ball downfield exceptionally well. He just doesn't have the running ability that Grayson McCall does. So they're limited in their zone read and their zone option game. But listen, they overcame it, and they showed that he can play. Fred Payton can step up and lead the team.
We do expect to see Grayson McCall come back for this Coastal Carolina team. This is Shamari Jones thrown down at the line of scrimmage, and there's a flag.
Gonna be a face mask scare. That one was up top. You see Shamari shaking it, a little smile there, almost ripped his head off.
I believe that was Kendrick Duncan Jr.
Personal foul on the defense, face mask, number 27. Half the distance, automatic, first down.
It's time now for the AT&T 5G best moment. Rini, what you got for us?
I mean, it's the touchdown pass that put them ahead and really just got them the momentum. It's Fred Payton to C.J. Maribel out of the backfield, and I think that was the play. Great protection, great execution, and they really got jump-started after that touchdown. So no doubt that's the play right there.
Again, the AT&T 5G best moment.
They stole it from Wesley Kennedy, I will tell you that, in that great punt return, but
yeah, he had a 60-yard punt return for a touchdown in the first quarter. Coastal using all the time they can. They'll take a knee here. A lot of people wondered, is this Coastal team for real now that they're ranked? What do you think after today?
Well, I say yes, and they were 5-7 last year, so they've already matched their win total all of last year already. And this is a team that, again, I said it's fun to watch. They love playing, and they came and got a tough, hard-fought win without their starting quarterback.
This will be the first 5-0 start since 2015 for Coastal Carolina. And Fred Payton takes that final knee. For the first time, Coastal Carolina is 3-0 in the Sun Belt.
And a 2-game lead, if I'm not mistaken, in the East, which is huge.
Yeah, this is their first East game of the season. They get the win, and the first time in 2 meetings, well, in the last 2 meetings, they've been able to beat Georgia Southern. Coastal Carolina, so many different weapons for this
Well, and
group.
I like the adjustments, right? 14-14 at halftime, pretty much a stalemate. They came out, they got away kind of from zone read, zone option. They finally got some movement up front, got some inside runs there. They kind of opened things up, and they did a nice job and pulled away, and defense played exceptional.
For Georgia Southern, they dropped to 3-2 overall, 1-2 in the Sun Belt. Their next game will be Thursday against South Alabama, a quick week for them. Meanwhile, Coastal Carolina will take on Georgia State a week from today. But history keeps on being made for Coastal Carolina, the number 25 team in the nation. They are undefeated, a perfect 5-0 start for the Chanticleers in 2020.